Given the rising influence of AI, do you think AI has genuinely impacted voter preferences across the world, including in Netherlands, or is the concern somewhat exaggerated?
It obviously has a role. I mean, social media, the internet, generative AI, etc. It has some role in the shift towards a more populistic society. And you see in Europe, but also outside of Europe, you see a rise in more right populistic parties. That can't really be a coincidence, right? With the upbringing of generative AI, you see also a lean towards the right. But I do think this is a societal problem and not a technological problem. So it would be a bit naive to think that before generative AI, we were all friends and we were all getting along with each other and we were, let's work towards solution. I mean, polarization is of all times. I mean, you can't really say that because of technology we are polarized, and because of technology we now have a more preference for right populistic political parties. But I do think the two can strengthen each other. So instead of pointing towards big tech, we should also think about big politics, because I think they are one of the greatest customers, maybe even for big tech. Because like I said earlier, politicians now realize that you can use this technology to mislead people. You can use the technology to spread fear, to spread uncertainty, and to make people believe that it used to be better. So it's really conservative. So it's not per se the fault of technology, but I do think that people with, well, false intentions can use this technology for their own benefit. But I do think at the same time that when there was no technology, we were also polarized. So the essence of polarization shifts, not polarization itself, but how we can address it. Because there was some research done in the Netherlands, and that quoted that there's a difference between the experienced polarization and the actual polarization. So people feel more polarized and de facto are more polarized. But when you look at historical research from the past 35 years, you can see that the actual opinions of people haven't really changed that much. So the polarization, the actual polarization stays consistent, but the experience polarization is rising. So the gap between the two, that's, I think, the most important thing to look at. And believe it or not, I think you can also use technology to smaller the gap. So we talk about technology as a problem of polarization, but I believe technology is a design issue. So we can also design it differently. So if technology can polarize, then it can also connect. But we need to have an incentive to connect people. And now polarization is a business model.